The elevator to nowhere. Kristy had been working in the old office building for 6 years. The 9-story structure with its rickety elevator seemed perfectly normal to her, until one evening she heard a strange sound, a soft chime and the noise of the elevator ascending. But it was impossible. All employees had long gone home. The building had its own history. Constructed back in the 1970s, it was originally planned as a 12-story complex. But construction had to be halted after a series of inexplicable incidents. Workers complained about strange noises at night, visions of an unknown man in the window of the future 13th floor, and sudden stops of the elevator on a non-existent level. After 3 workers disappeared without a trace, management decided to settle for 8 floors, conveniently forgetting about the planned 3 additional levels. The next day, Kristy noticed that the elevator call button sometimes blinked for no reason. She decided to tell this to the security guard Igor. He paled and whispered, "Do you know how many people complained?" And then they disappeared. No one ever returned after seeing that elevator. Igor told her a chilling story. 10 years ago, a young accountant named Marina vanished in this very elevator. Her personal belongings were found on the ground floor, while cameras showed her entering the cabin late in the evening. The last frame demonstrated the doors closing, but then the mechanism continued moving higher than 8. After that, the recording stopped abruptly. Searches yielded nothing. Since then, many employees preferred to descend by stairs after 6 o'clock. One late evening, Kristy stayed overtime finishing a report. It was almost midnight when she finally gathered her things to leave. The elevator was waiting on her floor, invitingly open. She stepped inside and pressed the button for the ground floor. The panel showed numbers up to 8, as usual, but when the doors closed, she heard the mechanism moving higher than 8. During the ride, Kristy noticed something odd. The floor indicator began to flicker, showing a sequence of numbers: 9, 10, 11. Each step of the mechanism was accompanied by a characteristic creak, which grew louder with each number. When the digit reached 12, the sound changed to a deep rumble, resembling distant thunder. The indicator screen went dark, then lit up with a single number: 13. The doors opened. In front of Kristy was a long corridor with red walls and a strange smell of burning. The number 13 glowed faintly above the elevator door. Her phone showed no signal at all. The air was heavy with an oppressive silence, broken only by the soft buzzing of the elevator mechanisms. The corridor stretched endlessly, creating an illusion that it was much longer than any regular floor. On the walls were strange symbols that changed shape every time she looked at them. Kristy noticed that some signs resembled ancient runes, while others looked completely alien. At the end of the corridor loomed a massive wooden door with metal inserts. Light pulsed from under it in sync with Kristy's heartbeat. She cautiously stepped out of the cabin and took a few steps down the corridor. The walls were covered with strange symbols that glowed with a soft purple light. Kristy heard a soft rustle behind her and turned sharply. In the elevator mirror, she saw a reflection of someone who shouldn't be there. A tall figure in a long coat, their face hidden in shadow. Later, it was discovered that all employees who encountered this phenomenon vanished without a trace. Records revealed strange incidents dating back to the building's construction. Construction was halted on the 13th floor after a series of accidents. Workers spoke of seeing a strange man watching them from the window. The archives also contained intriguing eyewitness accounts. One worker claimed he saw the mysterious watcher moving between window openings faster than any human could. Another told about strange voices echoing through the empty building at night. These records were marked as confusion or paranoia, but now, after Kristy's incident, they took on new meaning. Kristy realized her time was running out when she noticed that the mirrors reflected not her, but the shadowy figure. Each time it grew taller until it reached the ceiling of the cabin. The creature's eyes glowed with cold light, and its hand slowly reached for Kristy. The worst part began when she tried to photograph her reflection. The camera refused to take pictures, showing only a white screen. When Kristy risked using video mode, the recording worked. But instead of her reflection, she saw only the silhouette of the creature, which got closer with every step she took. The soundtrack featured only a quiet whisper that couldn't be made out. Nowadays, the building has a new security system, but sometimes at night you can hear the familiar chime and see the elevator ascending higher than the 8th floor. Those who dare to check why it stops never return. The last security camera recording shows an empty elevator rising to the non-existent 13th floor. Then the screen goes black. All that remains of Kristy are her bag and a note with a single word: "Sorry."